Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I've got my good buddy TD from the Texas Boys YouTube channel here with me. How you doing, bud?
Great, Chris. How you doing, man?
Good, doing well. We can get this video done before the bottom falls out of it. It's
That's
loud
right.
in this tin building. We've got a few things to cover today. One of them being NatWest Bank website is NatWest Bank put out a letter. They sent something out to the people that were a part of that bank, and it has to do with withdrawals. I hear more and more stories of people having trouble withdrawing their money, and this is nothing new. And I feel like it's going to get a little bit more as we get into the Thunderdome. They're going to encourage CBDCs. They're going to encourage leaving your money in the bank. Don't mess with that nasty cash for all these multitude of reasons. I'll get in the story in a minute, but it's just, it's par for the course. What do you think, TD?
Yeah, this is another regional bank, and the only reason that you would push this information to your account holders is almost in a very real way to create a run scare, because you're like, wait a minute, you're going to interrogate me and you're going to want to know what I want to do with it. So this, I believe, that is intentionally kind of letting you know basically that there is no deposits available, so to speak.
Well, let me just read you the highlights. Cash withdrawals are the least secure way of making payments. Our primary aim is to keep customers safe and secure. Again, it's all for your safety.
Yeah.
Remember, the future is like 1984's The Manual. It's no longer just a book to watch out for.
That's right. Safe and effective.
This will include asking you questions about the purpose of your cash withdrawal. They already do that, but here's where it gets tricky. And in some cases, for supporting documentation such as an invoice, so that they want you to actually submit proof of why you need your money.
Where are your papers, Chris? Do you have your papers? It's unreal.
Unreal. This is part of the big push that we always talk about, going down to 6 banks. JP Morgan own most of it, and you'll have to use their FedNow truly funny money.
Yeah. Unique.
That's digital, and there'll be all kind of things, all kind of honeypots laid out for you. You'll get your retirement faster, and you'll, like you said, they rolled out in China. We were talking earlier. If you guys haven't seen the Texas Boys, we were just over there covering this story. He's got a great channel. Check him out. It'll be in the description. He's a like-minded person. As soon as I met him, I knew we were going to be friends for a long time.
Yeah. And
I think you'll feel the same way. So that's what's going on with the bank. More, it's more of the same, but still, it keeps going. Now, I've got a story here about nearly half of all Americans have a chronic disease. I covered this in a video, but I want to just touch on it just for a second, because there's over 120 drugs that they're out of. I'm going to talk about a few of them, and it's straight off the FDA's website.
Crazy.
But nearly half of all Americans now have a chronic illness. 40% of children and adolescents have one chronic illness, probably more. Now, this is due 100% to the poisonous food people are eating.
Yeah, that's right.
Warren Buffett calls Bitcoin rat poison, but at the same time, he's been selling rat poison since, I don't know, 1950s through Coca-Cola in the form of high-fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
So just know that. But this health crisis is costing more than $3 trillion, and it's costing the individuals $6,000 a piece. Massive, big problem, right? Okay.
And this bleeds right into what you were mentioning earlier about healthcare inflating GDP, right? And actually counteracting the shrinking of GDP. It's being absorbed by healthcare.
Yeah, so it's bogus. The GDP is, it's like a feedback. There is no product. After you go to the hospital because you're sick because of the crappy food, and then they get you somewhat better on a bunch of drugs that you don't need and your body can't process.
Death management.
There's no end. There's nothing created. There's no value add.
Yeah, there's no health care. It's death management. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. It's perfect. I wanted to read to you what the FDA had to say. And of course, it's hard to find. According to the FDA webpage, you can go read it for yourself. There are currently more than 120 medications ranging from amoxicillin and albuterol to a non-insulin diabetes medication to basic intravenous fluids such as sodium chloride that are unavailable. Repeat, they are unavailable or in short supply in the United States. We're not even in the Thunderdome good yet. No. We're already missing medications.
Yeah. Saline water.
And half the population's sick.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's nuts, man.
So, it makes you wonder if maybe the reason there's a shortage is just because there's an overt usage of all this stuff. Maybe it's being hyper consumed. Maybe it's not a supply. Maybe it's not a supply side, but maybe it's a consumption side.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Wow.
It very well could be. We're using them up too fast.
Yeah.
And they've got guidelines on the penicillin. This was sent to my dad. He's a EMT. And they sent it to him and they said, healthcare providers should prioritize this medication supply for pregnant women. This medication is only for acceptable option for pregnant women that have been exposed to syphilis. Now, they're talking about penicillin, and they're only wanting to use it. You know, they're rationing it already. Penicillin, like this stuff's been out forever and ever and ever.
Yeah.
So that's going on, and he got it the other day, and I kind of sat on it. Now it's even more.
Chris, you want to know what's really a really good point here is me and my wife were just talking about this with preparedness and stocking a pantry and pharmaceutical grade things, right? Is really, we need to start focusing on herbalism and tinctures and start replacing some of these. Because like, for example, penicillin, white willow bark, you know, is kind of where they originally discovered and derived penicillin from. So we, as looking to be prepared, we need to start looking into herbal substitutes that, I mean, in a lot of cases, they don't quite do the same thing or aren't quite as powerful, but it's good to start looking into these different herbs and tinctures that we can grow and have for when these items are scarce or non-existent.
Well, anything you can get, you know, for yourself, you know, any kind of herb that'll help. Usually herbs are really easy to grow, you know, It's not like you got to do a lot to them. So that's a really good point. There's an update on the AI that can fly F-16s. And guys, just so you know, my computer's almost dead. I don't have a plug-in at the anvil. So if it dies, we'll finish this video on another video. But if you're unfamiliar, an AI-enabled drone turned and killed its human operator during a simulated, this wasn't real live, but it was simulated, U.S. Air Force test. Now, what happened was he was telling the drone he could, don't shoot that target. He would see the target and he said, don't shoot it. And it upset this AI. And it figured out he could get more points if it killed the guy telling him no, because that was the game was to accumulate points. So it turned on him and it knocked him out. And then they said, hey, you can't do that. You lose points if you do that. So it turned around and knocked out the communications tower because that's how they were communicating. These things are reproducing themselves already. I mean, it's nutty. I've got some information about gas well drilling with AI. Unbelievable. These things are like they're teaching them. There are companies out there that are teaching AI to perform all these things. And that just blows my mind that, we're really here. But you told me as we started the video that the Air Force came out and said that wasn't part of them.
Yeah, that on this is on The Guardian. U.S. Air Force denies running simulation in which AI drone killed operator. The U.S. Air Force has denied it has conducted an AI simulation in which, of course, some pop-up just came up right in the middle of my screen. I'm trying in which a drone decided to kill its. Oh, I lost you, Chris. I think I lost you.